There are two elements of uniqueness about the Korach rebellion. One, it's the only instance of jealousy that causes a sin in the Midbar in the desert. After all, when we were in Mitzrayim, that was the great leveler. That was the kapara for the brothers' jealousy selling Yosef. In Egypt, we had nothing, we were slaves. The exception was Shevet Levi, who were not slaves, and Korach exhibited the jealousy, and therefore that caused the sin. Number one. Uniqueness number two is the Korach rebellion doesn't have a date. It doesn't say that it happened on such an occasion, such a time. Korach rebellion doesn't have a date. It's timeless, so to speak. In other words, the things that cause Korach to rebel, the Gemara says his wealth, other elements as well, that can happen to anyone. In fact, both Chavetz Chaim and the Chazon Ish count a lav, a prohibition. Lo yeh Korach chaladasa, you're not allowed to be like Korach, is the lav, is the issa of machlokes. So much so that Korach claimed wacky stuff about Moshe, and people believed it because of machlokes. He spread some tale about them taking, requisitioning some truma from a poor almana widow, and then taking something else from someone else's field, even though they didn't have any fields in the desert. Again, that's the power of machlokes. But it wasn't only Korach who was involved in that rebellion. There were three distinct groups. The Netziv at the start of the parasha tells us something completely brilliant about how these three different groups operated differently. Number one, you've got Korach. He wants leadership, jealousy, fine. Number two, you've got Das and Aviram. They're just the spin doctors. They want to create argument, machlokes. They're the press, so to speak. And then you've got the 250 people who the Makrive Ketores. They're the people from Reuven who join in the bandwagon. They become part of the rebellion. Now, they all die in different ways, right? In other words, the 250 people are swallowed by heavenly fire. That is a kadosh way to die. Others are either swallowed by the ground. There's machlokes what actually happens to Korach himself, but they have different motivations, and therefore they die in different ways. Says the Netziv why. The 250 people of Korach were l'shem shamayim to a certain degree. They weren't doing it because they hated Moshe, they rebelled against Moshe. They were doing it because they felt lacking. They wanted to be Kohanim in the Beis HaMikdash, and they couldn't. Very interesting when sometimes in our lives we see there might be something lacking. Right? Now, there's two ways to react to that. Sometimes we're motivated because we genuinely feel a lack, and therefore we enter good causes to try and stop that, to try and fill that lack. But sometimes we look deep down when we're presenting something we need, we're running after it deep down because we can't have it. 250 people of Korach, unlike others who asked for things that they couldn't have, like the Pesach Sheni group, 250 people of Korach, they wanted to be Kohanim, but deep down they're running after something they couldn't have. And therefore they joined the Korach bandwagon to rebel. That was a problem. They're running after something deep down they knew they couldn't have. Hashem, all our motivations should be for good. We shouldn't engage in machlokes. We should only know good things.